creatives are definitely a superpower for any kind of product. So if you're in dropshipping space, you should not be married on the product, but if it's working profitably and something is going to die off, try to test more and more creatives all the time. That definitely will help out. That's what's became for us the difference on Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. Hello to everyone, Anatoliy is here, and today in our Ecom Business Podcast, we're gonna be introducing to you one of my good friends, and as well in the same time he's the doing for you agency owner in e-commerce space, especially for the dropshippers, and he's in the business as well since 2017, based in UK. He, in his 17 years old age, find out for himself what is all about dropshipping business and e-commerce in general. In that 17-year-old, he was hustling and selling the newspapers on the corner shop, helping his father, helping his parents with the business, with the financial. And after that, he just find out what is e-commerce and start testing out and made all the losses which he can on the way to get his first winning product. So he knows what is that. He been there, he go through all the struggle, and finally he found out the first winner. He understand how Facebook ads are working, and this is where the successful story begins. He made on his stores over 7 figures, and then he decided to open the agency because there was a demand for it and there was a request. He'll share with us a bit more. And from that point, the agency already exists for a couple of years. He was able to make it over $4 million for his clients, and this is just beginning of the journey. And I really want to introduce you Aadam Akram, who is as well open to share with you all the e-commerce side from his own experience. What's up, Aadam? How are you doing?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to having a good conversation.
Awesome. And yeah, I'm excited as well, especially both of us in the same space and plus same direction, even sub niche, which is done for you agency. And I'm wondering really to hear from your own perspective how it's working for you, your own way, how you're managing the team and so on. But definitely would like, first of all, you to share with us like more insights about how 17-year-old man decided to start his e-commerce business. What was the real story behind, and how you were able to overtake all the fails and finally made your first results?
Yeah, so one thing I would say is getting into business when I was young. Before that, I was never really good at school. Like I was like probably C, D grade student, right? So never really succeeded at school. And up until that point when I started my business, I never really achieved anything. So I wanted to do something where I could prove to myself, okay, like you can do something, you're worth something, you can achieve something, because school wasn't going the way I wanted it to. And I worked very hard in school as well. I revised a lot, stuff like that, but still, I just couldn't get good grades. So then I started business. Obviously, everyone's first business, I crash and burn, right? Like in my first 3 months, I had like £3,000 in my bank account. When I was 17. Now I got that from working with my dad, doing paper rounds, stuff like that, odd stuff on the side, and then once that started bringing some money, I invested into e-commerce, spent $3,000 on Facebook ads and influencers, lost all of it. You know how it goes when you first start out. And then from there, just learned from my mistakes, invested in myself with like mentorships and stuff like that. And from there, just really started building some type of momentum, finding my first winning product and just taking it from there,
You went in the beginning with the influencers, no? Even with the paid ads, am I right?
Yeah, so what was really going on in 2017 with dropshipping was meme pages and influencer ads on Instagram pages, right? So I was trying to capitalize on that. I was selling like men's jewelry. It just didn't work. I spent so much money on ads. And get nothing back. I would spend it on like men's fashion pages, spend like £200 on a post and maybe get one sale for like £20. So it was really, really unprofitable. I lost a lot of money, learned a lot of lessons, more importantly, though, from doing that. And then just started sharpening my skills with that, testing different products, and really started like building from there once I found that one product that actually did well, yeah.
Awesome, got it. And it's to find the first product and scale that it was as well useful for you to take some mentorship, which is was the crucial moment for you. Am I right? I mean, you mentioned that you took the mentorship, and this is where your story begins. So means. It's really important to have a mentor at the beginning of your journey if you want to learn the skills.
Yeah, well, my mistake was I had a very big ego. So I thought I knew better than most people, even though I was a beginner. Now, I think this is what most beginners do, right? Is that they think they know better than most people. And then they just start spending money on ads and putting up products and stuff like that they think will work without having any actual understanding of the market. So for probably the first 2 to 3 years of my entrepreneurship journey, I was doing it on my own, testing myself, stuff like that. And for I think 1 year straight, I would make 10,000, I would lose 15,000, I would make 5, I would lose 4. It was like that for like a year straight. So after a year, I made literally nothing. So that was like a whole year wasted because I had so much of an ego that I thought I could do it on my own. Only once I started getting a mentor after that did I realize, okay, right, I need some help here because what I'm doing isn't working. So then I found a mentor who was ahead of me. He knew what, and you can attest to this, but he was ahead of me. He knew what mistakes I was making, and he just saved me time. Like if there's anything that he saved me, it was time. Like the mistakes and everything, he would just cut out all the noise and just make sure that, he's doing the right steps moving forward. And that to me was invaluable because if I didn't have my mentor, I would probably not be on this interview right now with you. I would have given up, to be honest.
That's a good point, actually. First thing about the ego, I just want to make a comment that's insane how it is true. Sometimes, people, first of all, newbies, when they are starting, I mean, all of us, we were newbies. I mean, all the people when we are starting, some of us has this kind of ego of like smart ass man or girl, and I know better than you. And doesn't matter, like you speaking to the guy who made already like millions, 10 millions on this business, and you like done nothing. And really, some of the people are present themselves like they don't want to listen to you. They don't want to make attention to what's important. And as well, what I can say from my own experience, I used to be trying to be logical. Like, no, but it's logical. I mean, yeah, this is the logic. This is how it works. This is how it should work because it's logic. But at the end, when I really start getting results and understand how things working, I saw one thing, that there is no logic at all. Like today it could perform well, today it could really killing it, and tomorrow can some shit happen. Non-logical stuff could happen. Facebook algorithms updates, like Facebook score show up, like something else is happening, and like it could be with super low CTR, with super high cost per click, giving to you 5 ROS. Very rare, but it's happening. So unlogical, but you have to look on the right KPIs. So I'm just saying that at the beginning, people using a lot of logic, and some of the people really believe on themselves more than on anyone else in terms of make the right decisions. And that's what is killing usually the business for such kind of people, and they are quitting. And here is my question, like, what was warming up you for a year straight of making, losing, making, do not understand whole process that you didn't quit? Like 1 year having been quit, it means like you definitely different person than average people who quitting. But what was your fuel for that?
A lot of things, man. Like I alluded to earlier, I wanted to prove to myself that I could achieve something, Like that was my main driving factor at the start, I would say, is that to prove to myself, not to anyone, not to show off to anyone or anything like that, or to have nice things. It was just to prove to myself that, look, you can actually do something with your life, because I never did anything up to that point. So I would say that was a main driving factor. But another thing was how much money and time and energy I've invested into this. it was like in my mind, and I think you're the same with this, is like I thought the only time you really fail is when you quit. So even though like on paper I was failing for the whole year, in my mind the only time I would actually fail is when I quit. And I think you have to have that little bit of what's the word, like a delusion to be like, okay, like this is going to work, even though no one else, like everyone else in my circle, my family, friends, everyone, they were telling me just quit, just move on, go to university, go get a job, whatever. It was me with this delusion in my head that was saying, okay, this is going to work eventually one way or another, you know? So that's, I guess I was a bit crazy in that regard, but I think we all have to be a bit crazy to like actually make something work with business, you know?
Yeah, completely understand. And I love these words about like you only failing when you are quitting. And that's 100% correct. Best I cannot even describe. And that's what's on my end as well. Like if I will quit, what will be changed? Nothing. I will stay with the losers. No money. I owe people money as well because I was borrowing from them, from my friends, and my wife mad on me and all this stuff. And like if you quit, what will change? And this was the crucial moment to me to understand that I will keep going. How? I don't care. I will keep going. I mean, that's what's really make the difference. Awesome, man. Okay, so you start getting your first results. What was your first winner? What kind of product?
It was a necklace. It was like wooden resin necklace, and it had different colors and things. It was like red, blue, white, yellow, I think as well, if I can remember. And I was trying to sell that as just a normal necklace. So I didn't have any marketing spin on it or anything like that. And I was just trying to sell it and it just wouldn't sell. And then one day, actually, my mum came into my room and I asked her, like, look, I'm really struggling, like, selling this product. Do you have any ideas? And then she told me, oh, it gives me a very calming sense, like, when I see this product. So then I named the necklaces calming necklaces. And then what I would say for each necklace, I would put, like, okay, the red one, I'll put, like, lava necklace. The blue one, I'll put ocean necklace. So I would put a marketing angle on it where it's like something to do with nature and it can calm you. And I sold it like that and it just blew up. Like I did, like, I think like, for me, it was a lot of money at the time. I was doing like 2K days consistently just because I switched like this product that just wasn't selling at all to put this small little like trick on it. And it just blew up. So what that really showed to me and what I learned from that product was it's all about creativity. You have to be creative with the products. You got to think outside the box. So like when people say a product's saturated or too competitive, most of the time I disagree with that. I think if you're creative enough, you can think of a different angle. You can think of a different way to portray a product to get more people in. You know?
Yeah. And you ask really the average behavior. I mean, the person who is buyer actually, like your mom, which is usually like so many like mothers and fathers, like our parents are buying something online because they're not, then if they're buying something online, especially nowadays, they are not that confident about what's going on. They just see the product and that's it. Touch their attention. You can say that you already sold them because like for them if it's catching their attention they're gonna be buying it, and that's actually it's a marketing step, and especially like naming the different names of the different colors. That's a smart idea as well. So okay, so you went to the bracelets and after that you just expand for some other products, so you were straightly focusing on the bracelets.
So I would sell that necklace, and what that necklace led me to is like the whole higher consciousness spirituality niche on Instagram. So then I found like pages to do with that. So they would post about like spirituality and consciousness and yoga and that type of niche, right? Like chakras as well. So then I would sell products to that market on Instagram, So I just look on AliExpress for different products that they would be interested in, like yoga mats, or one that really blew up for me was these stickers. Actually, I think I have some. But basically, like, you'd put it on your phone and it would like block the radiation coming from your phone. I sold probably 4,000 units of that for like, I think like 30-40 pounds per like unit. And that really blew up for me because it was, no one ever saw anything like that. And no one, if you go on AliExpress and if the average dropshipper saw that product, they would think, oh, some sticker that blocks radiation, who's going to want to buy that, you know? But if you find the right audience and you're creative enough with your product, there's almost a market for every product, you know, as long as you market it properly. So that one really, that was my biggest winner, I would say. Because from that, I could do loads of upsells, and I built an email list, and I also built an Instagram following. So I had a page at the time with 130,000 followers, all like organic. Like I didn't pay for it. It wasn't fake followers, all real engagement. Because I was just posting every day like content in this space. And then what I could do there is just promote products myself with zero ad spend. So like I was getting like 70-80% profit margins for products, and I could basically just control how much I made at that point. And that was really successful for me. That Instagram page is still up to this day, actually.
That's cool. I mean, about organic growth for the Instagram page, and especially this is the niche which is super viral. It's a great niche, actually. People are really affected by the storytelling there. So if you sell them just to sell the sticker, nobody would buy. Like, really, a sticker, it's something which is nobody would purchase. I mean, only if they want a nice sticker on the yoga sticker on their phone or somewhere. But if you added this kind of radiation storytelling and it's protecting you, wow, that's storytelling usually killing it. I mean, that's a perfect way where you find out the angle. And according, like, to your influencers, I mean, and all the Instagram growth organically and so on in the past, back 2018, what can you say for today, 2023? How effective is the micro influencers or big influencers? Would you do the same what you done back in 2017-18 if you started over? What's your opinion about this direction in nowadays?
I would say it's definitely obviously changed, as most things do, like it just changes over time. I think you can still make Instagram influencers work, but what I'm seeing, at least I haven't done it too much recently, but from what I'm seeing from people who are succeeding with it, is the content's king. Like, you have to be on top of like how the ad actually looks. Like, the ad has to look like a regular piece of content. It can't look like an ad. If it looks like an ad, they won't like click on it, they won't be interested, you won't get as much engagement. It's all about how the content actually looks. And this is the same for Facebook ads and TikTok ads as well. It's all about content right now, like how you portray your content, how you make it look, the fonts you use, the colors you use, does it match with the page, does it look out of place, you know, things like this you have to consider. So I would say if you're looking to do influencers today, it can work. You need to be good at vetting pages though. You need to know, okay, what type of pages actually work and which ones don't. Because sometimes you can get tricked by the ones from like India, for example, that you're not going to get anything from them. But you need to be good at vetting pages, and then also good at creating content that matches that page. You know, it's a bit more effort, but I think you can get a very good return from it. So I know one guy actually who's spending about 20-30K a month on influencer ads alone, and they do about 200-300K a month from influencer ads from the sales they bring in. So it can definitely work, and it's definitely profitable if you do it properly. Yeah.
And in this case, if to speak about influencer direction nowadays, where you would go, Instagram or TikTok with influencers?
It's a difficult one. I would say Instagram, you can scale faster because the barrier to entry is lower, because you don't need to make videos. Like, you can make a picture and like repost it on loads of meme pages. But with TikTok, it has to be personalized to each influencer, right? And each influencer has to, not all the time, but most of the time, they'll need to make new content every time for an ad. Whereas with influencers on Instagram that you can make just one ad and then you can share that out to like dozens of different influencers, right, on Instagram. I'm talking about meme pages here, by the way. So like the concept of meme pages aren't really a thing on TikTok as well. They are, but the problem is that the engagement is not the same, right? Like a page with 1 million followers on TikTok, just because it has 1 million followers doesn't really mean that you're going to get that much engagement compared to on Instagram. Like if they have 1 million followers and they're all real, like you're going to get a lot more engagement from that than on TikTok, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and in Instagram, correct me if I'm wrong, in Instagram you can build the really following and people behind you who are gonna be engaged with you for long. And TikTok, people reacting on content and they don't give a shit about the real page, about the page itself. They just watching the content and they're taking the immediate reaction according to the content, nothing else.
Right. Yeah, so that's why I'm more of a fan of Instagram, because it's easier, it's a lower barrier to entry for beginners, and it's more scalable, as I said earlier. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Actually, it's a good point. I mean, especially for people if they think in between paid ads and influencers in Instagram or TikTok. Here you go. Here is like a couple of really important points to know, and I pretty much agree with them. I'm not powerful into influencers, but I have a lot of friends who scaled the businesses through it. But what I know background about influencers, there are some which is micro influencers, 0 to 50k, 200, 150k. Those kind of influencers are powerful because their audience is really engaged enough and like ready to buy from them something because they trust. There is real 100,000 people behind who trust them. But influencers who are like 1 million, 2 million plus, there is no real engagement. They are not having any kind of warm feelings to that person. Plus, there is a lot of fake profiles in these followers, which doesn't make any big value, doesn't deliver any big value for the business who trying to promote. But those kind of influencers charging 5x to compare the small influencers. That's another point. If you're at the beginning, small influencers will be more powerful, more cheaper, and will deliver you much more results because they're exciting to get something to promote because they're at the beginning of their journey. And this is what I learned from like experience of my friends who are doing really well with influencers, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know. I was thinking then bigger audience then better, but yeah, it makes sense that lower audience, more engagement audience, and they will be in love with the person who advertising, so and with your product as well. Nice, man. Okay, Adam, tell me more about what your agency is focusing nowadays. Are you coaching people, or you running only doing for your stores? And what traffic sources do you prefer? How do you run the advertising as for now?
Yeah, so we do a mix of a couple of things. So we do done for you. We also do a bit of done with you for people who can't afford the fully automated part of the service. So what we're seeing work really well right now, I would say, and you can agree on this, is TikTok ads is definitely helping out a lot in terms of scaling. We also are trying dabbling in like Snapchat ads as well. Not getting too much success with that. I know a few people who are, but we've looked into Snapchat ads as well. It's doing okay for some people. It's not anything we're going to spread out to all of our clients just yet. But TikTok seems to be where it's at right now in terms of attention. You just look at where everyone's going right now, right? It's TikTok. Like they got 1 billion monthly active users or something like that. So that's where the eyeballs are right now. And you just got to follow the crowd and advertise to them. So it's very content creative heavy, it seems like. But I guess that's just one of the things you got to deal with the platform.
Yeah, about the content, it's true. I mean, I prefer in nowadays TikTok as well, and actually I'm surprising myself because half year ago I would say still Facebook is really delivering all the time problems, bans and all this time, but still I prefer Facebook. But from recent time I changed my mind because like Facebook really delivering too many problems. Too many, and the performance dropped down to compare where it was. Still delivering, but not that well. And in another side, TikTok, start performing better than ever before. And optimizing every single day for better ways for advertisers to get return, to get the high ROI. And this is like open for me eyes, okay, listen, I have to focus more on TikTok. Even we were already there, but we never been like a super deep dive into it until I really have seen that it's such a huge increasement on the consistency as well. By the way, how do you deal with the consistency problems on TikTok when there is really a problem, creatives dying off too fast or something else? What ways are you using to overtake those problems? It will be super useful for people out there who start in TikTok right now to understand how to manage that on the right way.
Yeah, so a couple of things we're doing right now. What we just introduced is a couple UGC content creators in-house. So we have, I think, about 2 or 3 right now. I think 2 female and then 1 male content creator, where we will get them to create products. We'll send the product via Amazon to their house, and then they'll take videos of it, and we'll pay them per video. That's helping out a lot to scale. But also something we are working on implementing right now that I think is going to really blow things up, that's why I'm going to mention it, is we're going to get someone from like the Philippines to cut up videos. So I'm going to get them on my payroll and pay them a certain amount a month. And they're just going to cut up videos, like 30 videos per product for each client. And then they're just going to send that out. So that's going to really help our ad buyers to scale client stores, because, as I said, we just basically have unlimited content available. So that's one thing we are working on implementing right now. I just spoke to my guys about that actually, and I'm really looking forward to that, because I think that's going to help scale a lot easier from like 0 to like, 5, 10K days, because the creatives are going to be there,
How often need to be changed creatives in your opinion?
Well, what I'm seeing from my team is it depends on the product. Like some products will die out in a week, some will take 2 weeks, a month, maybe even. So it really depends on the product, but on average, it seems that's the thing you got to do every week. You let me know, what do you think? Is it the same for you?
Actually, yeah, like weekly basis updates of the creatives. It depends of the revenues. So actually, I would love to share that as well from our experience. So guys, taking notes. What's working from our end, it's really for stores which start taking off, let's say 1K, 3K, 5K a day, to bring that to 10 or 20K a day. We have to launch every single week double size of the creative. So for example, if it's in 1K a day, we start taking off some product from a couple of hundreds and bring to 1K a day on TikTok. We're understanding that now it's time to bring more and more creatives there. So we launch like maybe 10 creatives a week. But when we are, and it's helped us to bring to 3-5K a day. But when we go really hard, we just increase into 20-30 creatives a week and going that way, that it's allowed us to be 10K plus a day. And that's actually what's bring the consistency on TikTok. I see that only changing the creatives and repeating the same steps again. This is how it's work on our side.
You need to think of products from a different angle, right? So you need to think, okay, how else can I show this product? What else can I show? What are the advantages or what are the angles? So as long as you team can keep trying that out, that I think will make a big difference to if you can scale a product. Because I think some people are very quick to assume if a product dies out or if it's like saturated, If a product dies out and the ads manager this is like not profitable anymore, they'll just assume, okay, it's a dead product. But when actually they could just make a couple more creatives and keep the product going.
I learned this thing from experience of one of my ex-students, awesome guy. We still are kind of friends. We are chatting to each other. He got his first results back in 2019 with me, with one product, post corrector product, and he done just okay, I don't want to lie, but maybe 30K with that product when he was working with me for a couple of months. And it was his first winner. So after a year, we met in the restaurant in Kyiv. He just texted me, hey man, I'm in Kyiv. He's Ukrainian as well. Let's meet. And we met each other and he showed me his store. After 1 year, he said, I'm still selling the same stuff for like already a year. It was $175,000 generated in that store. I even record the video. I have somewhere testimonial with him. We sit in a restaurant. He showed me these results. Like, wow, it's insane. Like the same product in dropshipping for a year. And he started explaining to me, I was just testing more and more creatives again and again and just repeated the same stuff. I like, because actually we done that all the time as well, but we never put that as a must doing it. We like looking that product start dying off and we move to another product as a dropshipping model. Something dying off, you move into another, and just this is how you always in dropshipping life survive. So here we met in beginning of 2020. He sent me that and like, it's interesting. And after that, we really tested out with some of the products. That time I was in with my partner in the store, and plus we had like a kind of taken off brand. And wow, just changing the products and repeating exactly the same. Do not looking for the new strategies. Do not looking for anything new. Do not try to hack the system. Just repeat the same stuff and it will be work out. So now, 2023, I had that 2 months ago, January, I had a call with him and he's still selling that product. Like 30 to 40K a month, nothing crazy, but the boy, like I'm calling him boy, but really man, with no experience, he has no clue what he's doing, like because he never got mentorship after he finished with me. He just repeating the same stuff after my training, and like 3 years selling the same product, 30, 40, 20K a month. He shows me the metrics. I like, wow, it's insane. And now he's white labeling, making like small brand, but yeah, creatives are definitely a superpower for any kind of product. So if you're in dropshipping space, listen carefully. Don't quit. You should not be married on the product, but if it's working profitably and something is going to die off, try to test more and more creatives all the time. That definitely will help out. That's what's became for us the difference on Facebook, TikTok, everywhere.
Does he do that like full time? Live off that store?
A good question, like he is a singer. He's singer, Ukrainian singer who making songs on English. He has perfect English, no accent, really awesome. He even live in the US for 6 months to learn the English, and as well staying in California to learn the music industry. So he making money from the ads from the store and just investing into his small label, let's say. Into his own brand. Like, I'm really proud of him. He's doing awesome. But I'm just saying that it's surprising. Sometimes you can sell the same product again and again for years, and it doesn't matter that it's dropshipping. Cool, man. What is on your end, like when you are running ads, when you have success with the clients on one social media, are you moving to the Snapchat or no? How this transition is going? Or maybe email, SMS marketing? What else you're doing usually for the clients when it starts performing?
Yeah, we always set up SMS. I've seen very good returns from SMS. Anyone who doesn't have SMS should really consider it. Look, I think on one of my stores, I spent like $200 on SMS and got back like 20,000 just from like running like a couple text messages, like it's crazy. It's crazy returns on there. You're not going to get returns like that anywhere else, unless you have a brand or something maybe. But like SMS is like 100% must have. But then other than that, transitioning from say TikTok to Facebook, I don't know, you tell me. I find it quite difficult because the products that work on TikTok, sometimes they've already been like sold a lot on Facebook, so it's harder to enter the market on Facebook with them. So it's hard to make that transitional scale on there, at least I find anyway. So how do you guys navigate with that as well?
Yeah, it depends on the product, but moving from TikTok definitely on Facebook, at least with retargeting. So retargeting must, like if you start taking off with some product on the TikTok, we definitely making sure that pixel has been created from Facebook and moved to the Shopify, so it's collecting data, and later on just retargeting campaigns and start testing the cold campaigns. When you place your Facebook pixel into the store, and running ads from Snapchat or TikTok or Google, it's still collecting data. And then testing phase will go easier on Facebook, since Pixel has been already trained for sales, and it has been seen all the sales which is happening in the store, and now you can retarget, and from that retargeting find out what's performing, what kind of creatives and so on. And actually usually we're using the same winning creatives which are took off on the TikTok, especially which are dying on TikTok. We're just moving them to Facebook and see what will happen. Like I don't see that it would be perform like two platforms in the same level of success, but definitely extra 20-30% of revenue you don't want to lose, I would say.
Yeah, you mentioned retargeting on Facebook. One thing I want to just ask about that is what I've seen, at least, so this is going to get a bit geeky now, but you see that you have the column for frequency on Facebook. It will tell you how many times it showed its ad to certain audience. What I'm noticing is that Facebook is, when you just do broad targeting, like they're just sending ads to your audience anyway. So are you noticing that as well, where like Facebook's doing the retargeting for you, or do you still just do normal retargeting where you put the like custom audience in the ad set?
Yeah, we still put custom audience, and I agree with you about the frequency. I'm not really looking at that metric that much, but it's still good to know. I mean, if because you can see that creatives dying off for the reason, because it's repeating, let's say 3 times for the same person again and again. But yeah, we definitely going with the retargeting of our custom audiences and testing out the broad for just like a cold audience. I mean, there is different ways, everyone has their own strategy for the retargeting, but yeah, we usually just starting with the engagement campaigns, Facebook page, videos, ads, video views, website visitors, add to carts, especially add to carts performing great. And like last 180 days, 90 days, 30 days, so testing out different time frames on our end. Adam, I would like as well ask you, so now AI system is there. So have you started utilizing that with the team since this year, the ChatGPT? If yes, how does it helpful for you? It looks useful. What's your opinion?
Yeah, so ChatGPT, I think it's a skill that everyone should develop, is how to ask it the right type of questions, because you can get very like in depth with it, right? Like you could ask it, okay, pretend to be like Hulk Hogan and write me a novel of mice and men or something, you know? Like it can get that in depth about whatever you want to talk about. So I would say you should spend some time like researching what is it that you need to find out from ChatGPT, and just learn how to ask questions to it. Like what's the best type of questions to ask about your niche? Because yeah, it definitely makes a big difference, ChatGPT on its own. But also there's a lot of other tools other than ChatGPT. So another thing we're actually working on right now to implement is with website development. We're going to get AI to make client stores instantly. So as soon as we take on a client, we're going to have their store up in a matter of like minutes. Like usually right now it takes about, I think, 3 to 5 days to make a website. So with all the product descriptions on there, everything, now we're going to be able to reduce that time from 3 to 5 days to 3 to 5 minutes to make a website, have the product descriptions on there, have everything on there, the apps, everything. So we're working on that at the moment. So there's other tools other than ChatGPT that you can use that are really valuable. You just got to be creative with it. But yeah, it's definitely making a big difference this year. Yeah, one thing that leads into, right, is like copywriting is eventually just going to be extinct. And what that means for like us is your creatives have to be on point, because the barrier to entry is going to be so low now, because everyone can have like a really good creative, or not great, a good ad copy, a good website. That's all easy now, but the hard part is the creativity with the ads, and that's where like you're gonna make your money. At least that's what I'm seeing moving into like the next year to couple years now, is like it's all gonna be focused on your creative.
Especially like I would say about ChatGPT that you can say like, hey, like for example, you're selling some kind of United States flag product. I mean, whatever, it's blazer or t-shirt and something related to the being a patriot of the country, yeah. And you can really just say to ChatGPT, hey, like use the Donald Trump voice or someone else like who is really big persona in US. So make for me that copy as it's said by him, and it will use really the keyword. I mean the words which is that person in life usually using, so people understand who it's said. You know, when you make this ad copy and understanding that it has been said by some famous person, like they feeling engaged, like wow. I mean that's a game changer, and really copywriting on the next level. Especially it's useful for me as a person who is having not fluent English. I mean, my English is just good enough, but not really fluent. And to have this kind of copies writing on the right way, I must have copywriters or some kind of translating systems to make sure that everything is under the marks, no misgrammar, no grammar errors and so on. And ChatGPT, here you go. Like it's your best friend. It's my best friend. So you know, now it's cool, man. Like definitely, it's a future, and I'm looking forward to see more and more about it. So tell me, please, what would you choose, the journey or end result?
I would say the journey, because of how it shapes you. I would say if I didn't go through what I had to go through to get to where I am today, I would be a completely different person. I would have a very big, we talked about ego earlier. I would have a huge ego. I would be humble. I would be very arrogant, you know? But because of all the mistakes and problems and issues I've been through with my business, I've been humbled a lot by my business, you know? So it shaped me into the person I am today because of all the trials and tribulations I've been through. If I didn't go through them, then I wouldn't be who I am today, you know? So I wouldn't change anything that I've done in the past because it made me who I am today.
Love it. It's true. I mean, we have to go through all the journey to be who we are. And if we'll get only end result, we won't learn the lessons, we won't get new skills, we won't be who we are supposed to be after all that journey. I love it, man. I appreciate for you being on the podcast and for your time, Adam. And I love some things which we today shared with the audience. And I believe there is a couple of really golden nuggets which guys and girls, please listen carefully. I'm always saying to people who listen in me on the podcast and my guests that sometimes like we are receiving golden mind like information, and we just ignoring it, like wow, it's mind-blowing, it's so cool, but we are not implementing it, you know. And I'm telling you guys and girls who are listening, please just like implement it. If you're in our industry, if you have such kind of questions and you have such kind of problems, TikTok ads, creatives, whatever it is, AIs, what to use, what not to use, listen carefully and just like take the notes and make the adjustments on your end, and you'll see the results. I never guarantee anything, but in this case I can say I almost guarantee that this is going to be the exactly game changer for you if you're going to be just taking the advices what you just heard on the podcasts or from people who you trust and has experience better than you, and just utilize that. Adam, would you like to say something to our audience before we end it, and maybe your social media information as well? We're going to be shared that definitely in our podcast under the video, but something from your end, if you wish, offer or just some kind of guidance to the crowd, please welcome.
Yeah, I would say just don't overlook learning. I would say you need to commit yourself, like what you just said, take notes. You have to be learning something new every single day. I think a lot of beginners today, like they overlook learning and they assume they know more than they actually do. There's so much you don't know. Like I try and listen to a book every single day, learn some new information about Facebook ads or TikTok ads every day. If you don't learn something new every day, you're not getting better as a person, never mind just business. So I would highly recommend, it made the biggest difference to my life, is learning something new every day. If you implement that, just one thing, commit to it doesn't even have to be long, just 10 minutes a day. Watch a YouTube video or something, take notes. This podcast, for example, is learning, just do that once a day, every single day, 7 days a week, not 5 days. And you'll see a big difference from your progress, and you'll start learning more. So yeah. But yeah, my Instagram is just my name. So it's Aadam Akram, as it shows here, 2 ways at the start. Yeah.
Awesome, Adam. Appreciate it. Yeah, we will share all the Adam's details under this video, so you can find out his social media, website, whatever you will see there. Just go through. You can reach out to Adam, ask some questions. Feel free for that as well. And again, guys and girls, I'm gonna be seeing you in another podcast. And Aadam Akram was today with us. Adam, really appreciate for your time, and let's keep in touch. Speak soon.
Thank you for having me, man. Cheers.